on the battle bus.
Beep, beep.
Hey guys, Shio Wager here, and today we're going to be analyzing some of the biggest and most loot-heavy drop spots in the game. From everything to loot paths, timing, and fighting, the most crucial time that sets the tone of the rest of the game is the early game, and your drop spot. Top trios have developed ways to split up and attack each of their drops in their own special ways, and we're going to dive in and see some of the basics of each of these spots, as well as who's utilizing them to place high on the leaderboards. Retail Row is an old drop that returns with a new twist in Season X, with both obelisks offering high priority loot and cube monsters offering free shield and ammo drops. Getting control of this drop fast and early can put you at a huge advantage endgame, offering multiple options from increased launch pads, excess shields, diverse utility, and big hitting weapons from all ranges. This drop gets split down the middle halfway, separated into the blacktops and the houses/residential side. Most of the time, looting and moving is faster at the blacktops, and an increased elevation on height by default allows for an advantage to whichever trio lands there compared to those at the residential side of the drop. With 2 vending machines and multiple chests available too, the trio that controls blacktops controls the entire engagement, usually being the ones to come out on top. Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and Micho have adopted and trained at this drop over multiple weeks of the FNCS. From forcing early game fights on Blacktop to coming in late for third parties from the residential side, they use every advantage depending on the type of situation they have to beat other trios and win week after week, leaving the whole lobby scared every time they thank the bus driver. Happy Hamlet has been the drop most competitive players envy, with most chest spawns and many vending machines to boot. Having good options for rotations with ziplines and driftboards, as well as the option of excess loot to get snowside if you have zone, winning this drop and having room to play is a player's dream come true. Playing this drop, however, is very difficult. Usually with 2 to 4 teams contesting you because of how abundant and plentiful loot is, you will always have an uphill fight to face and conquer quickly if you want an advantage heading into mid-game. Taking fights here is all about who engages first and who gets to third party, with most engagements ending quick, as many angles taken are vertical, making it a lot easier to hit headshots for that damage multiplier. Close range box fights are also very common, with less room for mistakes and instant eliminations on knocked players, keeping all opponents healthy off of Siphon. Eclipse, Mega, and Dubs land at Happy, usually preferring the north side of the drop, and although might have trouble making it out of early game in a few of their games, the loot they get when the drop ends up working out sets them up for exponentially more points in the end game, with lots of mobility, shields, and high rarity weapons to make big clutches with. Landing at powerful drop spots is a challenge that requires practice and teamwork to overcome. Being efficient with comms, having a plan, being prepped and ready, as well as adapting to anything you see on the glide are keys in being successful in the early parts of your game. Use that edge for a boost on the competition in endgame, securing good placement and elim points with your trio. And who knows, maybe you can be on the top of the leaderboards playing in the grand finals of the FNCS.
What's up, Fortnite fam? It's me, Zeke, and we're hanging out with our best friend, Sundown. We're doing something a little crazy, Sundown.
Oh, are we now, Zeke? What are we doing?
We are going to make some very bold predictions heading into the finals of the FNCS. We also have our friend Monster D-Face standing by and Shia Wager. Gentlemen, if you want to say hello.
What's up, boys?
Heyo.
Very quickly, within 30 seconds or less, you guys got to tell me your predictions for the region. All right, we're starting with Middle East, Sundown. Give me your prediction.
So everyone else went with Fiesel, Kappa, and Klops. They won 4 of the 5 times, but I think them splitting their trios might have given them not enough practice, so my bet is going to go towards Flame, Prime, and Hunter. Expect to see them challenging towards the top, and can't leave out Fiesel, Klops, and Kappa as well.
All right, Monster D-Face, OCE, go.
Honestly, I'm going to have to go with Geese, Slaya, and Skyla. And the main reason is because Parpy and his trio actually went to NA East, where you guys saw them dominate the region in Week 4. So with that being said, I know the X2 twins are, kind of one of the fan faves coming up, but I think Geese, Slaya, and Skyla are really going to give OCE a run for its money coming up.
Now for Asia, coming back to you, Sundown, what are those predictions?
So Asia, and I've been pretty adamant about this, how there's been about 5 to 10 teams who are consistently up top, but my pick is actually the WGS trio of Jag, Horde, and QLO. They played over in Europe for the World Cup. They've had the most amount of experience. I think that's what's going to allow them to win out.
Sure. Speaking of Europe, Shy Wager, you're up.
You guys already know who the kings are of Europe, Mitro, Mongol, and Benji, but the only trio I think that can start a revolution are Stompy, Chinkin, and Aqua. They have a kind of counter play style. They already have a rivalry brewing with the kings of Europe, and I think these guys will have the edge taking it over at the end of the Grand Finals.
All right, for NA East, Shy, we're going to pick your brain again. Give us those predictions.
So one of the favorite picks to win NA East are Bucky, Animal, and Aspect, but I think the counter to that trio, who's really strong at the moment, is Clicks, Crims, and Spades. They play kind of a rugged type of low ground situation, always getting their win condition at the very end of the game. So I think their type of randomness and weird plays that happen at the end will have them make big plays to win at the end of the Grand Finals.
Now let's talk about Brazil. Gentlemen, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to make a bold claim here. I'm going to say the red trio is going to bring it home. Snow, Avalar, and Techno Viking. We've seen Techno Viking. He almost made World Cup qualifiers. Just barely missed out on qualifying. The same for Snow and Avalar. This will be their weekend. They're very hungry for the win. I'm telling you guys, they are going to do it. Now, finally, let's wrap up with NA West. Monster D-Face, give us your take.
I'd be crazy not to mention the trio, Scented, Rex, and Edgy, because they've been the most consistent in the NA West region. But I think another trio that can give them a run for their money is going to be Arkham, Falconer, and Vinny. And Falconer, by the way, the only free agent on this team here in the NA West, at the top of the board, still dominating. So I would love to see them come through and pull it big for the NA West region.
Some pretty bold predictions made across the board from everyone. Sundown, Shy Wager, Monster D-Face, thank you guys so much for hanging out. And for everyone at home, don't forget, tune in this weekend for the FNCS Finals, September 20th through the 22nd. You can watch at Fortnite.com/watch. And of course, guys, we'll see you on the battle bus.
Beep, beep.
Fortnite fam, we've missed you guys so much, and now we are here for the grand finals of the Fortnite Champion Series. Now, you guys know who I am. I'm Zeke. But let's introduce the crew that will be hanging out all weekend long. On the left of me, you've got Sundown, the luscious locks, T-posing on everyone with a nice little dab. In the back, you've got Dr. Lupo. He recently won an award for being an incredible human being. And to his right, you've got Monster D-Face, incredible content creator, and people still confuse us for some reason. I'm not sure why. Up in front, you've got Shy Wager, the big man with even bigger plans. He's a 10 out of 10, and by the end of the stream, he'll be eating a cup of mayonnaise. Now, Fortnite fam, I know you guys are ready to get into all of the action, but first, we should probably get all these new faces to the broadcast up to speed on how the broadcast is going to be run. Let's start with the broadcast schedule. So right now, we're going to be hopping into Europe during one of the heats going on right now. Later on, we'll take a look at some of the replays from Middle East that happened this morning, with a live look-in at Brazil after that, and then we'll wrap the day with NA East. Now, how are these guys racking up their points? Let me get you up to speed on that. So first off, 9th through 12th will get you 3 points. Placing between 5th and 8th is 6. 3rd and 4th is 9 points. Second place is 12 points, and that victory royale is worth 15, with every elimination being 1 point. Now, the prize pool across the FNCS has been $10 million. And here is a prize distribution for this weekend. A lot of money to be divvied out. And of course, the money is great, but being able to be crowned the first ever season champions across all regions is an even better feat. Now, before hopping into the games, we made some predictions earlier on in the week for Europe. There is one among us that had a bit of a different opinion, and that's fine. We'll get there. But Sundown, why don't you tell us about our predictions from Europe?
So I'll talk about our predictions, since the rest of us decided that, we had a brain and were able to look at what went on in the past 5 weeks. And Mitro, Mongol, and Benji just wiped the floor with the rest of the region. They averaged a 1.4 placement, 3 wins, 2 second places. I know I've always harped on it, but it took literally 4 really, really bad games in both of those weeks for them to get barely edged out into second place. And any other time they've played their game, they've been on top. But Shy, it seems like you went a different direction.
Well, I understand they got their high placements, they're in their high castle, but personally, I see a revolution coming. I predict the upset, Stompy, Chicken, and Aqua actually taking it all home at the end of the grand finals. They're amazing, but I think they won't have what it takes ultimately, and Aqua will steal the race at the very end.
Well, we'll have to see how things pan out for these trios. Now, like I said earlier, by the end of the broadcast, Shy will be eating a cup of mayonnaise if MMB wins out in Europe. So we'll have to see if that pans out for everyone. Now, guys, we are going to be jumping into game number 2 of heat number 1 in Europe. We're going to be jumping right into all the action. And to do so, we've got Monster D-Face, Dr. Lupo. Gentlemen, take it away.
Zeke, thank you very much. For those that are confused, Shy went on Twitter and made a bet and said if the 3 that we've all, I mean, we've seen them just absolutely destroyed thus far. If they do in fact win, then he will eat not a cup, an entire jar of mayonnaise on stream. And to be quite honest with you, I think that might be some of the best content that I've seen on the internet in quite a while. Now, going into Europe here, like you said, game 2, it's already rolling right now. Monster, before we jump right into it, what do you think? How do you think things are going to play out today?
I think my stomach hurts. I'm going to have to sit down and let this one kind of digest as we jump into these games. But let's go ahead and hop right in. It's Europe. They're trying to get to the grand finals. There's going to be a lot of action unfolding today, Dr. Lupo.
Lo and behold, 95 players remaining. Only one trio in whole has gone down. And we're jumping right into retail with the trio themselves, Benji, Mongrel, and Mitro. Honestly, some of the most dominant players in solos and duos, and now they're trioed up.
That's right.
And crazy kitted already. A gold RPG.
That's
right
literally what I want to touch on right there. The retail row loot.
Look at the inventory.
Sets him up for success. You're looking at straight up legendary inventory. And the best of the best, what do they choose? Shield bubbles. Shield bubbles, one of the new, items introduced to Fortnite, and it's a great item, right? It's so versatile. So you're going to see shockwaves, you're going to see launch pads, campfires, and even with the recent adjustment to the loot, the way it's divvied out here in retail, it's still so prominent in the loadouts. You're going to see the difference. And just look at the map on the side. Basically, no one around them to contest.
It's wild to think. So I'm going to say it, and I'm pretty sure everyone is already thinking it, as we've seen them play over the course of the qualifiers for this event. If no one contests retail, or it's lightly contested, let's say somebody drops black tops and they take Resi side, or however it's split.
I can tell you what that means.
It
means Shayo is 100%
eating the mayonnaise.
Eating the
100%
mayonnaise.
guaranteed eating the mayonnaise. In fact, production, can we get a jar of mayonnaise ready just at some point before Sunday? Because based on what we've seen thus far, we have an insane mat count across the board already. Look at the inventory. This is ridiculous. They are kitted to the teeth. 11 points already going into game 2. Game 1 must have. We'll have to take a look back if we can see exactly how that played out for them the previous round. But they're moving in. They have maybe. Granted, we can see on the minimap that there's nobody at Dusty Depot right now, but that's a potential drop spot for a trio at this point. But right now it's uncontested. You see there's builds there and there's no one around. They have a free rotation in. You see where the next circle ends up. Meanwhile, you're going to have teams smushed up against each other already on the movement in, fighting it out. We're looking all the way to the north side of the map, just past the block. A number of players probably dropping up there.
And this is a veteran team right here. The Vic, Robabs, and Falcony been around the scene for a long while here, and they are just dictating the pace of this battle here as they're trying to look for this push right now. The shield bubble's not going to be effective. He actually had to push out of it, and it's a 3v1 situation right here. Down comes the Stinker. That's going to have to push him back, and it should be a nice, easy close-in. You can see right there.
Got him zoned inside. One box left. The quick edit, the swap. Lands the shot,
nice
trap from above, dodges it. Basically no damage taken.
It's a good attempt. Pretty good attempt right there. Did try to, catch the Vic off guard, but he was fast enough. Managed to kind of sneak on through.
By the way, on the right side of your screen, here's the results of game 1. You see Mongrel, Mitro, Benji Fishy taking 5th place. Alblefly, Miro, and Zoe in the 1st place position up there, which means 15 points for that trio. There's the remainder of your top 10. Just a quick info blast there for you if you did not see game 1 on any of the channels that might be streaming their gameplay right now.
And I love that. I love that we can see exactly where we're at with the leaderboard. That was the wrap-up of game 1, your top 10 teams coming into game 2 now. And remember, every single heat, they're going against one another. So we're going to see rivalry. The best, like that leaderboard is going to change with every single elimination, every battle. They're going against each other.
With the exception, of course, once Mongrel Mitro and Benji take that first place spot. I'm just saying, they have been playing insane. That's not to say that anybody else can't potentially take that top spot. It's very possible. I mean, even Skyt, Hunter, and Keysar from Solary and Lestream, this is an excellent trio in itself. But man, just the dominant gameplay from MMB has been insane to watch.
Yeah,
Up here on top of the hill now.
Sundown put it best. It's Europe playing catch up here with our favorite, I guess, team to look out for. But
absolutely,
we'll see how the performances go here as Hunter, Sky, and Keemstar are just going to base up, kind of sit just outside of the Tilted Town. You can take a look at that map there. Players are setting up. They're setting the perches. The high grounds are being claimed, and that is how you can start to choke out squads that are rotating late here. Now, they are going to hopefully, get a little bit of that RNG, right? Get that zone to fall in their favor, because otherwise they'd have to burn some valuable resource early on.
I will say, over 10 seasons of Fortnite, this hill has been one of the most consistent high ground advantage spots to take. And even now, you're looking down on Tilted Town where there's no building. You have essentially free shots on players that do, for some reason, choose or are forced to rotate through there. This spot is insanely good. You have clear line of sight on so many different locations. Even the high hill to the north, which is high ground elevation-wise, you still have a clear line of sight on a majority of what's up there. There's only a little nub at the top that can block line of sight of anybody that's moving on the north side of that hill. This trio, Skype, Keemstar, Hunter, they're in a great spot going into the next circle.
Absolutely. There's no reason for them to move right now either. As you said, they have a nice line of sight over the field here. And all those tags, those are crucial tags. Remember, Storm Surge can affect anyone here, so you have to be proactive. You can't just sit around and be complacent with your positioning. You have to be actively seeking for damage if you don't want to get taken out by the Storm Surge. But here we have another little engagement about to go down here. It looks like the Vic is currently turning, this house inside out. There's a team very close by.
Rotating forward just to the southeast there, the gas station. Plus, you do have one more player, the gazebo, in the middle of Pleasant Park. Going to rotate up on top, and I think now's the time to try and get a height advantage. You don't want anybody to apply too much pressure. Plus, they are further away from the zone. So the team from TCK, they are in a good spot to just try and stormhold this, if that's what it comes down to. You have 3 potential point pickups here, eliminations. Actually, pressure going in here. Muser taking the high ground on top of this trio. Use that shockwave and got up on top. I would expect pressure from the other two here momentarily. We will see. But there is another trio. Look on the minimap. You have another team coming in from behind. So now both the trios that we just saw on your screen right now that are fighting it out here at this northeast building in Pleasant, they're about to get stormheld by another team down that they're moving in as well. There's going to be 3 teams fighting basically in one building in a second here. Gems is eliminated. You have a couple pickups there. The Vic. 3 eliminations now, a ton of materials, but you do have literally another team on top of them right now.
And that's what happens when Storm Surge comes into effect. People do desperate things. So this team was totally fine parked up here, but now they have to force the push here. They have to defend themselves, and lucky for them, they get the tags, they get the trades, and their entire trio is still standing. This is a 3-way battle going on here, all of which is probably forced out because of Storm Surge now.
I guarantee you there's some
Robab
frustration.
did a good job here. He's going to get shot in the back. He's the most hurt. He's actually going to shockwave through, trying to find himself a better position here, Dr. Lupo. And he does. He breaks away. He's got a little bit of time to himself now.
Good call there to try and rotate away. They are a little split at this point. Falconly's going to have to rotate back. Junior 7 Josh and Tom Wamo all stacked up next to each other right there in front of the garage of that building. Wonder if the campfire is going to be a clue for them. If they do spot it and realize they might be low HP, it might be the time to push if they have a way to pressure. 5 shockwaves in the inventory of Robabs means rotation here in a minute is not going to be a problem. The team shockwave could come in clutch. Might be time for it. You see him line it up. In fact, he might even be marking it just to say, hey, let's get ready to go. Indeed, that's what he was doing. There we go. Rotation all the way south. Look at that. Solid push ahead of the team that did apply pressure moments ago. They have the circle advantage now, and now they are sitting at the forefront, able to stormhold.
And
a big move there.
Reckless push. They have the zone right here.
They did.
They go outside the storm, the safety zone, just to try and force that fight, and then failed.
You got to think the potential chance of taking damage from the storm, the storm surge might have been the reason for the push. Not 100% sure. We didn't have the number up on the screen at that moment, but you have to think throwing away a positional advantage the last second there, especially because you know the storm timer. The circle timer is on your screen. So they know that at some point, if they're going to push, they need to make it quick or they just need to wait. Chose to move out there, and now they're on the outside. Meanwhile, 3 HP. The other two from the trio. Matsui Amplify still up. This is the winners from game 1, by the way.
Oh, they are.
25 points. A big lead going into game 2.
This is what we like to call shambles loot right here, man. Miro with no heals, 3 HP in a dream. Amplify also equally hurt. They do have a couple of eliminations to their name here, but it's looking pretty dicey.
Look on your mini-map. They have to rotate past so many teams, and they're sharing loot right now just to try and give everybody a chance. I almost would say maybe Miro drop everything that he's got just in case, any chance to boost up the other two, because at this point, 3 HP is not the best situation to be in. Here we go, Matsui pushing forward. The other two not yet on his tail. You see, you can watch on the mini-map just a second there.
You actually have to appreciate Matsui kind of leading the charge here. He's the only one with shield on his team, so he says, you know what, I'm going to go out first. I'll do the building. I'll do the leading here, taking the pack to the next zone. And, I mean, it gets him a little bit closer to the safety spot. I think the play here is either catch a pick, get this siphon, or buy time, right? Hopefully a launch pad comes down. You guys get a little share time on it, and they can get that way to the zone.
That audio cue, you hear the shockwave. That actually is a very good signal for them. Being low HP, they don't want to make a move before somebody else. And Hunter gets almost beamed into the ground, but now they know that they're basically free to rotate. The team that was potentially going to be a problem. Big hit there. Gets the elimination on Hunter. Very valuable. Amplify does, in fact, go down. You see in the top left, Raxo takes him down from D-Mind. 23 trios remaining, 61 players total. The threshold on the middle right, they're 343 damage above. But Miro still sitting on only 3 HP. The mini's going to be a big pickup there. Now 53 total.
At least he gets him a little more health here, right? Puts him in the game, keeps him in the running just for a little longer. Now he has the option to pick up this blue pump, and he actually is going to opt into keeping the gold tack. That's actually a pleasant surprise there. Wouldn't have thought that, the pros would take the slower pull-out time from the gold tack over the blue pump.
You get a 200 damage hit with the blue pump. Can mean the difference between making it into the circle and getting stopped by somebody. Maybe you get surprised inside your own box, somebody takes your wall. Situational awareness is big for the blue pump to be extremely effective, and your accuracy has to be on. But, man, when the thing hits, it really hits.
You really got to appreciate this push right here, because they're still fighting for this game right here. There's a minigun over to the left. That hit right there is going to hurt a lot, though, because, again, the heals are so sketchy here. I think they have one more mini left to their name. Yeah, perfect time to come with the explodes right there. He's trying to break through the build. Someone's going to catch a sneak shot from behind, though.
That back right corner, Miro down to 49 on the ground. Matsui probably going to have to leave him out to dry there. Another team making moves on the side. The safe zone, the next safe zone is the bottom middle of your screen, or bottom middle of the current safe zone. You see in the bottom right there, the mini-map. 5 damage below the threshold. Skype solo right now, looking for a tag, and he does actually find it, and an elimination is a big point right there. 20 trios remaining to get close to placement points before too long.
Just looking at the feed, I saw Mitro still in the running here somewhere in the game, so that trio, top 5 trio, still in the running here. I think our number 1 team might have been completely wiped during that push right there, so they're out. They cannot accumulate any more points, but they did pick up a lot of eliminations, so you best believe they're still in the top 10 as far as we know right now. But it's so early. It's still so early.
There's a lot of opportunity here. We still have a number of games left. Camo, Harmy, and Pepper at the top of this, looks like 4 or 6 block tower. Stinger to apply pressure while the minigun is going. Love the EU tactics. You don't see too much minigun other regions right now, but this Tamalamo does go down. Well, imagine that many rounds from a trio, all shooting at your single build and you're by yourself. It's basically GG at that point.
And this team here is also just heavy on the elims right now. An effective 7+ for the squad right here, and they have the prime position to catch the picks of anyone rotating from the backside. This is actually perfect too, right? The heavy congestion is below them. They don't have anyone up here in this layer with them. The closest person is this trio right here to their left, and it looks like it's time to get that focus fire on. Yep, here comes the minigun.
The mark for attacking right there, stink to apply and make a move. You use those HP tags that pop up, the 5, to see where your opponents are rotating. Now they're in literally the very bottom of the same builds. You have a ton of people stacked up next to each other at this point now. But Camo, Pepper, and Harmy look like they still have the ultimate high ground, the best spot on the map right now. That being said, they're on the far west of the current safe zone, and they need to rotate southeast. Hopefully, somebody's got a launch pad or shockwaves in the inventory to make this rotation. Otherwise, they're going to have to build across and tarp over everyone else underneath them. You do still see Benji, Fishy, Mongrel, and Mitro right there on your screen. They are still in this one. Looking down from almost the same angle. Here we go. Rotation with the launch pad. Well above the damage threshold for Storm Surge. Excellent spot. And 12 rockets in the RPG. They're going to build on pre-built structure over there. That somebody else put up. Might even be their own builds.
And this is exactly what you want to study from this star trio right here. Zone 6, they go for the high ground. So they're actually going to take the high ground. He's going to catch 2 on the knock right there, which means that team is really hurting now. That's going to be Voron who gets taken out there. Voron was also in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a power takedown right here. It's going to allow this trio to just get one step closer, kind of breaking away, getting, you know, Shio Wager, the mayonnaise tub to the face. So we'll see if it, comes to fruition before the day's up.
Mitro staying a little bit towards the back, keep throwing down those RPGs at players that are rotating, or the builds to see if we can get drops on people. Mitro pick it up. There's those 2 elims in the feed, so he did secure both of them. That puts the entire trio at 6 total right now, 17 points. And we're looking at placement now, top 15 trios remaining. Only 29 players, though, as the elimination feed is starting to light up across the board. These are the zones that really cut the player count down as people are moving, especially when you have one of, if not the best trio on Ultimate High Ground with an RPG. Are you kidding me? But they are in the best spot.
Remember, it still hurts to hold high ground from Zone 6 so early. They're going to be forced to jump down soon if they can't, kind of map conserve properly. They're getting broken down consistently now by the shockwaves. These are one of the cons that happen when you take that high ground, because you don't get the pleasures of looting the players you drop, right? Just like that. All that loot's gone. They actually can't use it.
And every time you hear a shockwave, you'll see these players snap and look up in the air to see if they can try and find who's on the fly. In case you have free shots as that elimination is secured. Mitro picking up a knock on Falconly in the feed. Another one for the trio, 7 remaining. I've got to say, if this is not a win for this team, I don't know what is.
It's going to be a close one. Mongrel actually did not have any more AR left in his gun. There's no more RPG left here. It's a straight-up shotgun battle. This is a crucial elim. That's going to get them some of the resources that they need to hold this high ground here. And it looks like it's cutting back across. So lucky for them, they're going to be able to kind of reuse some of their resource here. We have a couple players left in the game here. Red Rush in the low ground. Shaka and Cal as well. Here's Mitro just raining fire. That tac sub SMG so good for shredding through builds right here. And honestly, they can pierce through the turbos like right there. These are the shots. Good pressure right here from Mitro, putting down the fire, putting all the ammunition to use here. We're almost in the final zone now. This is it. Storm Zone 9. The close in will happen. Looks like Benji Fishy's going to go for that high ground. You saw him elevate himself right there. So he's going to get out of the harm's way of the shockwave. And Mitro's going to stay down here and just get down and dirty with the TAC SMG right now, Lupo.
You have to remember at the last set of placements here, the points really kick up as you go from 5th to 4th and 3rd to 2nd, and then the victory royale. So every time you see a player go down, like right there, the 4 trios remaining get even more points. As soon as one more trio goes down, we'll get it 1st and 2nd, and that's it. And we're down to the very last second here, the spray from above. This honestly, as soon as we got to top 40, this was Mongrel, Mitro, Benji Fishy, all the way to the end. No surprise here.
And a monstrous 12 elim game right there. And you saw, even in the final moments, they did try to drop a couple of medium bullets there. But with that, we're going to send it over to the studio with Zeke and Sundown. What do you have for us, guys?
Oh, man. MMB starting off the day strong. We are one step closer to Shio eating an entire jar of mayonnaise.
It's escalated because he said cup, but we really didn't define cup. Some people was like, is this standard measuring cup? And someone was like, honestly, it should be a World Cup. I was actually just back in the kitchen looking to see if we could find any mayo. I'm going to have to make a run tomorrow because after that last game, it was just incredible. So that is 2 matches down in the heat. Let's take a look first at the standings and see where we're at after the first 2 games because, that's weird.
Might as well just be Shio,